Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Politics in Plain English. And yes, I was just sent this sticker to put on my car, deplorable and proud of it. There you go. Well, we have a lot to talk about today because there's a lot going on in the world. One of the things that's really come to my attention, with the trade wars. I just wanted to say this. I do agree 100% with the president that this trade war has been going on for, say, 20 or 30 years. As a matter of fact, after Reagan, all of the presidents after us have been participating in this trade war, or I should say losing trade war. They have allowed other countries like China and Japan, Mexico, Canada, even the European Union, all of these countries to take advantage of America. That means like they were charging us a tariff and we were virtually charging them nothing. And as Trump was saying with China, they were charging us 25% tariff and we would charge them 2%, and they wouldn't even pay the 2%. And so now there's a big hoopla going along. Oh, Trump, what is he doing? He's going to have a trade war. We're going to lose. Hello, we lost when they allowed the jobs to leave America and other countries start doing our jobs. We don't make anything in America. Basically, everything was being made in Europe. That's why Trump is bringing back all these jobs, because if you don't own something or make something, how are you going to be a country? You are at the mercy of other people. Now, getting back to my point of being a deplorable, the reason I brought that up first is because the people on the left, like Hillary and what have you, they were saying, oh, the people on the right, they're stupid. These are ignorant people who are following after Trump. I wanted to just prove that. Here I am an African American, I am a female, and I'm a conservative, which means I am a rarity, right? And I just wanted to let you know some of the books that I have been reading. Now, I just finished up this book yesterday. This is Jay Sekulow's book. It says, A Biblical and Historical Case for the Jewish Capital. This is a must-read book. It's very powerful. It tells you how Israel has been on the scene for over 3,000 years, and it shows biblically as well as archaeologically and even factually in a court how Jay Sekulow has made the case. And it's so sharp because at the end of the book, he says, I rest my case. And he mentions in there about how we can support Israel. If you have the soda stream product that turns your drinking water into carbonated water naturally without all that sugar, well, Israel makes that. And also Sabra, that's a food product, the beans and what have you. They make that in Israel as well. So anyway, this is the book I just finished yesterday. Also, I had read The Trump, Art of the Deal. This is a must read also too, because it helps you understand what's going on in Trump's world, because he's been doing this forever. It talks about his father, how his father basically was left fatherless when he was a boy, and he had to go out and become the breadwinner for the family. And by doing that, he ended up going into real estate. And by going into real estate, he made a name for himself and his family. He was able to put his sisters through college, but he never went. But that still didn't make any difference. He was extremely smart. And he ended up giving his son, Donald, $1 million to go out and find his way. And so Donald did. Instead of staying in a little small area, he decided to go to New York and invest in those buildings over in New York. That's why you see all these high rises with the name Trump, and in Chicago and even around the world. So this is the art of the deal, which was being played out with the North Koreans. Then Trump's big agenda This is President Trump's plan to save America. This was written by David Horowitz. And this also is being endorsed by Rush Limbaugh, Dinesh Souza, and he's really good because Dinesh, he actually goes into detail specifically to let you know how America got into this situation, who the real Democrats are, and what they're standing for and what they're trying to do against this country. And David Horowitz, he just explains it in plain English of what the left is trying to do and why Trump is stopping it. As a matter of fact, he's now put their agenda back about 20, 30 years. That's another one. Killing the Deep State. Now this one, I read this one. Now I've read all these books within a matter of a couple of months. As soon as I get them in the mail, you know, if I send off for them, I read them. And it says The Fight to Save President Trump. This is Jerome Corsi. He's going in detail how he's going to fight the deep state. And basically, it turns out that the military was going to throw a coup against the Obama administration. But before they were able to do that, someone told them about Trump. And so they went to visit Trump. And Trump said, hold on, before you do anything, let me go run and get elected. Then we can do it the right way. And that's where you're finding all of this that's going on. Trump is throwing people out of the White House left and right because the deep state are unelected officials like James Comey. Nobody elected him to be in that job, but he's there. And so is Rod Rosenstein and Mueller. Robert Mueller, all these people, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, all the listed names that you hear, these are unelected officials, and they basically had told all the presidents whenever they come into office, well, you know what? You're only going to be here a limited amount of time. We've been here all the time. So this is what we're doing, and this is what you're going to obey and do after us. And that's why Rosenstein, you see him running out the clock, because they think they can. But Trump is a whole different personality. He likes to get things done quickly. And that's why you see people firing. You saw the people over there, the vets and what have you. He now made it so that if you're a rotten person, not doing your job, you can be fired from that job. And he got rid of thousands of useless jobs that people were doing in the government, you know, making all these regulations and stuff, just keeping people employed. So this is a very good book right there. And this is one of the books too. I read this one. This is the Trump Prophecies. This has come from Mark Taylor and Mary Colbert. Now, I met them or found them on Sid Roth is Supernatural. And this guy, Mark Taylor, he was a firefighter. And he ended up developing anxiety attacks and what have you. And so he had to end up quitting his job. And because of that, God has been with him. He's been giving prophecies. And I wanted to read this book because I wanted to find out what's happening. And he's telling everybody to be patient because God is taking care of everything. And also, too, I don't have this other book, but John Hagee was talking about the 4 blood moons. Some people were saying, oh, the blood moons don't mean anything. But I said that's not true. The blood moons, we have 4 blood moons within 2 years. That's unheard of. We hadn't had blood moons for like 300 to 500 years. So anyway, all of this is prophecy. And the only reason I showed you these books is to let you know that people on the right are not deplorable. We're not ignorant. We walk around just, you know, believing what everybody says. We read and we study. We research to find out what's going on. And you know, in one of my other videos, I even had the redacted information that came out about the Russia dossier. I showed you that. So I'm not the kind of person that likes to sit back and just repeat or regurgitate what everybody else is saying. I like to have my own truth. And that's why I showed you that today. And also, in one of my earlier videos, I told you why I left the Democrats alone a long time ago. My mother was the one that told me, she said, stay away from welfare and all these other things, because these were traps, which is what the Democrats have wanted us to fall into. And it's now becoming public, because you know the scripture says whatever's done in darkness will be brought to the light and shouted upon the rooftops. Well, now it's coming out, the very things my mother told me that would happen. They would come to your house, that means the welfare people. They would check the house to make sure there was no men in the house, no man. They would go into your closets to make sure there was no men's clothes hanging in there. Then they would go into your kitchen and search the cupboards to see that you had no brand new appliances. If you broke any of these forbidden laws, then they would get out of there. But once they found there was no man in the clothes in your house and there was no new appliances, they would give you welfare. Then the young boys, they would come, they'd be running around neighborhoods, they ain't got no father, no direction. They would have these white men who would come into the community, which we know now are the left, the Democrats, the demon rats. They would come in and they would tell the boys, hey, boy, I know you ain't got no daddy, and don't you want to help your mom out? And they would say, yeah. So they say, here, go sell this product and get your friends to do it too. So they did. And guess who? Once they started selling this product, which was drugs, the police would come right around that corner and they would arrest these boys. And these boys would be given long sentences, 10, 20 years. And these are teenagers. They're coming into puberty. They're thrown in prison with homosexual men who haven't had a woman in forever. So they end up turning these boys to something unnatural. That's why LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, that was part of his plan. He wanted to make sure blacks voted democratically for the next 200 years. And that's why he said we have to get rid of all the fathers in the family. So anyway, all of this has been coming to pass. We know what is going on. It's being shouted from the rooftops, and all I can say to you all is to keep watching, keep listening, and pass the word, because I got off the plantation years ago. And if I can do it, and Kansas Owens and all these other people can do it, you can too. So be sure to subscribe and share. Bye-bye.